Participants at the public hearing on the national budget demand clear priorities. Oil production stakeholders resolve to assess oil facilities in Paloch and Jebelen. And stakeholders discuss anti-gender-based violence bill. Hello and welcome. You are watching Ssbc News live from Juba. Amaut Polnang. The news in details. President Salva Kiir Mayardit extended his heartfelt condolences on Thursday to Dr. Benjamin Bolmel, senior presidential envoy for special programs, following the passing of his father, Sultan Mel Kuala Kol. Sultan Mel, who passed away after a brief illness, was a revered community leader in Awil East County, northern Barakazal State, born in 1925. He dedicated his life to serving his community, earning a reputation for wisdom, compassion, and unwavering commitment to the well-being of his people. Sultan Mel Kuala Kol's legacy is one of service and resilience, spanning decades of leadership and community engagement. Known as a long-time chief, he was instrumental in fostering peace and unity within his community, touching the lives of many with his guidance and strength. In a powerful show of solidarity, senior government officials, including Vice President Dr. James Wani Iga, also conveyed their condolences to Dr. Mel and his family, encouraging the family to draw strength from Sultan Mel's enduring legacy. The passing of Sultan Mel Kuala Kol leaves a significant void in his community, but his contributions and values will continue to inspire generations to come. The economic cluster, chaired by Vice President Dr. James Wani Iga, has listened to a report on the IGAD Sustainable Tourism Master Plan 2024-2034, which was launched in the Ethiopian capital, Addis Ababa. Presented by the Minister of Wildlife Conservation and Tourism, Rizik Zakaria Hassan, the cluster also listened to a presentation by the Minister of Livestock and Fisheries, Onyoti Adigo Nyikwach, on the high-level landlocked Development Country Forum on Food Security. The Deputy Minister of Agriculture and Food Security, Lily Albino Akol, says the cluster unanimously passed the report and advised the minister to present it to the Council of Ministers for final approval.
By the Honorable Minister of Wildlife, Conservation and Tourism, and he reported on the participation of his ministry in the launch of IGAD Sustainable Tourism Master Plan that took place last month in Addis Ababa, Ethiopia. And the master plan is a 10-year master plan in developing tourism sector among IGAD member states. South Sudan participated fully, and today the economic cluster endorses the adoption of IGAD Sustainable Tourism Master Plan. Of East South Sudan is a member state, and the master plan will be incorporated in the tourism sector development of South Sudan. So the plan is endorsed, and the cluster advised the Honorable Minister to table it to the Council of Ministers for final approval. The second presentation today was by the Honorable Minister of Livestock and Fisheries, and it was on the participation of South Sudan in the high-level landlocked developing countries forum. And this year's forum was held in Uzbekistan. It was held in September, last September. And the focus on the forum this year was food security and sustainable and the sustainable development goal. South Sudan again participated fully, and the cluster appreciated the Honorable Minister for the efforts of his ministry and the agriculture sector in ensuring food security.
Turning our attention to the flood-triggered humanitarian crisis in Jonglei State, where 6 counties are facing severe shortages of medical and educational services due to widespread flooding. The floods have submerged schools, healthcare facilities, and agricultural land, creating an urgent humanitarian situation as many local communities are now cut off from basic services. Vice President Hussein Abdelbagi Akol and Jonglei State Governor Mahjoub Biel-Turuk convened in Juba on Thursday to address these pressing concerns and ensure the region gains access to essential services. The Vice President reassured his unwavering commitment to supporting the state in overcoming its humanitarian challenges. Governor Turuk emphasized that he is in Juba to mobilize humanitarian support to alleviate suffering of the affected communities.
ولكن ركزنا كثير جدا أولة الفيضانات الموجودة الآن في ولاية جنغلة التي ضربت 6 مقاطعات كاملة في ولاية جنغلة، وركزنا في الجوانب التعليمية فيها أو جوانب الخدمات. إن توجد عدد كبير جدا من المدارس تم النهر بصورة كامل في منطقة فانجاك، عدد من المدارس تم انهارهم بأسباب الماء، وكذلك عدد كبير جدا من المدارس في منطقة الأيوت، كذلك في منطقة نيرول، كذلك في التوجيس، وكذلك في منطقة الدوك فديت. فدي طبعا بالنسبة لنا يعني ضرر كبير جدا، لأنه التعليم يعتبر سلم الحياة بالنسبة لجنوب السودان، والبلد في وضع بتاعت التنشئة. كمية المدارس ما كافية، ولكن هذا الخدمات تضرر ضرر كبير جدا. فالنائب الرئيس شجع الولاية في استمرار في كيفية مواصلة دعم المواطنين في تلك المناطق، وكذلك وعد في انه يزور الولاية ان شاء الله في الفترات القادمة انه يقف على الاوضاع بتاعت الخدمات التعليمية في الولاية.
World Bank expresses willingness to work with the government of South Sudan to enhance the country's transport sector. World Bank Country Director Charles Anderland stated this during a meeting with the Vice President for Infrastructure Development, Taban Dengai, where they discussed connecting the country with roads as well as promoting river transport. Speaking after the meeting, the Minister of Transport, Madud Biar, says they are on the advanced stage to commence the construction of Juba-Torit-Nadapal Highway. The Minister of Roads and Bridges attended the meeting in Juba on Thursday.
We had a fruitful discussion around the transport sector in general, particularly the potential for developing inland waterways, as well as improvements to the road network that will provide the basis for logistics to improve the well-being of all South Sudanese. Transport and logistics is critical for the future prosperity of all South Sudanese, and we at the World Bank are really keen to be partnering with the government of South Sudan to deliver on this agenda.
We have a very fruitful engagement regarding the transport in general, and particularly the road and bridges from Nadapal to Kapoita, Torid, and Juba, and there is a very, very good progress on issues of technical engagement, and now we are in an advanced stage of actually going to reach the implementation.
Vice President Rebecca Nyandeng Demabio reiterates her call on the youth to unite as a team for the development of the country. Nyandeng was addressing a National Youth Consultative Planning Forum organized by the Ministry of Youth and Sports in Juba, where Minister Dr. Joseph Gengakech assures commitment to supporting the youth development policy to enable young people to develop knowledge and skills to contribute to nation building. The two-day forum drew more than 100 participants from the 10 states and the 3 administrative areas.
This workshop is an opportunity for you to shape the future. It is time for you to raise your voices, share your experiences, and lay out your vision because of this consultative workshop that we are going to do. Always you say that you don't have a forum where you voice your voice. This is time for you to rise up and do that. You are given this opportunity. You grab it. Over those 2 days, you will be discussing real issues facing you as youth. Your recommendations here will not just be used to write reports. They will help to shape national policies and projects. So this is your time to be bold, confident, and believe deeply in your power to build the South Sudan that you want to see.
The idea that youth consultation should inform planning of the government is not new. But in particular, the Ministry of Youth and Sports is in the spotlight because planning is organization of thoughts to have an outcome and impact that can be assessed afterwards. This is how you do planning. This is how you do development. So it's not like if a river Nile flows in an orderly manner. We have 3 pillars of work in the.
Let's go for a short break and stay tuned for more stories coming up. Welcome back from that short break to proceed with our news bulletin. As the national budget for 2024-2025 moved towards its second hearing, participants at a public hearing organized by the Parliamentary Finance Committee led by Deputy Speaker for Finance Parmena Awarial in collaboration with the World Bank in Juba have united their voices to demand clear priorities as a means of ensuring accountability and transparency. The program aimed at gathering public perspectives on the national budget. It drew participants from financial institutions and civil society organizations. In his opening address, Awarial emphasized the importance of the program in capturing public opinion to help shape a budget that meets national obligations. Chairperson of the Finance Committee in the National Assembly, Michael Agwen, stated that inputs from the public will be taken into account. Meanwhile, Executive Director of the Community Empowerment for Progress Organization, SEPO, Mr. Edmund Diakani, expressed concerns over the legislature's silence regarding the delayed budget presentation. Civil society activist Ms. KG Jennifer stressed the importance of clear guidelines and accountability measures, highlighting the lack of essential services at the grassroots level across the country.
Today is good for the public to hear about the budget, as it has been stated by the chairperson of finance. Sometimes when the budget is made, people have doubts that the parliament has not worked on the budget. So it is better for you to contribute your ideas and to know exactly what the parliament is doing. It is what is brought from the executive that we work on. If we want to act, we act from there, and there must be civil. So the civil society, the women group, the youth, and other organizations have a right to contribute to the development or to the improvement of this budget.
To the civil society, the faith-based organizations, the church-based organizations, the general public, we have listened to you, we have written down all your concerns, and we will make sure that your voices inform the process of this budget. Your concerns shall be taken and considered in this fiscal year budget. We thank you so much, and we assure you that a new page has been opened.
Why is this budget late? Why is this budget late in the parliament? Why should we allow the Minister of Finance to remain like that? What are the priorities you have more than the budget? That you sit as our representative in the parliament. What are the problems? That the last 6 months you said without thinking about it, and now we are almost in the half. That's a question that we have to raise to you, that please next year don't repeat that. The other question we have is the question of transparency. If you look at spending around Anti-Corruption Commission, our National General Auditor, the spending is too less. Are you, our representative, standing at the point that we should not champion anti-corruption, transparency and accountability? And the next question we raise to is that why are the books of the government not audited?
Why are we passing budget every year when services are not realized at the grassroots level? And when you look at our annual budget, it keeps on increasing from million to billion and now trillion. Ask yourself, is there improvement in terms of service delivery? No. Civil servants, including the parliamentarians who approve the fiscal year budget, have not received their salaries for 11 months. What is the budget approved?
As discussions on deepening women's economic empowerment continue, the UN Women Regional Director for Eastern and Southern Africa, Hoda Adau, in a meeting with the Minister of Foreign Affairs and International Cooperation, Ramadan Mohamed Goch, emphasized the need to strengthen collaboration aimed at bolstering women's economic empowerment and promoting gender inclusion. In a separate diplomatic meeting, Deputy Minister Mande Simaya Kumba and Portugal's non-resident ambassador reviewed bilateral relations between the two nations. Ssbc's Abraham Felix reports.
As the country continues to implement the 35% women's affirmative action, female stakeholders are always at the forefront in pursuing its full execution and addressing challenges. During the discussion between Minister Goch and the UN Women Regional Director for Eastern and Southern Africa, Hoda Adau, the official explored reinforcing a long-term partnership between UN Women and the government, laying the foundation for successful nationwide women and girls empowerment programs.
We discussed how we can further improve areas, and particularly programs and policies that are in line, of course, with the government's policies, looking at the laws and policies that are conducive for women's rights, and empowerment of women and girls. Priorities that the minister had shared with me was around issues of education, on women's engagement in agriculture and productive life as well.
The ministry's spokesperson, Apukia Yuel Mayen, reiterated the government's commitment to collaboration aimed at fostering the 35% affirmative action for women at all levels.
Honorable Minister reiterated the commitment of government to ensuring gender equity and highlighted that the government policy is for gender parity in participation. The government is implementing a quota of 35% in all levels of government.
In a significant diplomatic exchange, Deputy Minister of Foreign Affairs Mande Simaya Kumba and Portugal non-resident ambassador Luisa Faragoso convened to explore avenues for bilateral cooperation between Juba and Lisbon.
Very pleased to follow up on further areas of cooperation that will bring our countries and our people closer together. And also very pleased to be accredited recently to Juba, where I hope that we have find the opportunities to pursue further avenues that will also lead us in the multilateral sphere and indeed opening avenues of closer collaboration.
The meeting underscored the importance of a strengthening bilateral relation between the two countries.
The issues discussed centered on exploring opportunities for exchanges, academic exchanges and exchanges between our diplomatic institutes, and also capacity building for South Sudanese diplomats, among other issues.
Additionally, Deputy Minister Mande Simaya Kumba presided over the monthly high-level coordination meeting on behalf of the government, which brought together the United Nations to discuss and provide updates on the technical working group. The Deputy Special Representative of the Secretary General, Guang Kong, praised the partnership between the government and the UN country team.
We discussed about the benchmarks, the 5 benchmarks that will be helping to lift the arms embargo on South Sudan, and we assess the progress under each benchmark. And amidst, we assure the governments our continued support to make progress on each of these benchmarks so that the arms embargo could be lifted as soon as possible.
Ministry's spokesperson Apuki Ayuli stated that both sides have agreed to work together to address the challenges facing their operations.
Both sides reaffirmed their commitment to deepening the cooperation between the government of South Sudan and United Nations mission in South Sudan.
The high-level forum was established to coordinate the activities of the UN and the government. Abraham Felix, Ssbc, Juba.
The Minister of Interior, Angelina Teng, has inaugurated the National Prison Service Training Academy at Lologo in Juba. The facility that was renovated by UNIMIS will equip prison officers with the necessary knowledge and skills to handle challenges of their profession. Speaking at the event, Minister Angelina underscores the contributions of partners to the development of the country. UNIMIS officer in charge of rule of law, Anis Ahmed, expresses commitment to expand services to other states.
We're feeling the impact through the police, through the correctional services, but also in the justice dispensation sector. We know that they have also been supporting the judiciary. Special courts have been erected, and so on, to deal with very difficult issues, things like gender-based violence, and so on. So we call them quick impact because they impact on the life directly, but it's not small. It's very big, and it's very wise that it is decided to really give a ceiling for how much money can spend so that it can go far and wide. Because our country is huge, the needs are many, the government cannot do it alone.
The Honorable Director General, who once told me that what is important for rule of law is that we support all parts of the justice chain, from the judiciary to the prosecution service, to the police, to the defense bar, and indeed the prison service. And he said you must see the time that a person in conflict with the law spends with each part of.
The National Minister of Health, Yolanda Awildeng, and UNFPA Country Director Esperance Fundira discussed critical areas, including the collaborative efforts in improving the country's health sector. The meeting also underlined the urgent need for enhancing cooperation between the ministry and UNFPA in tackling infant and maternal mortality. In a statement to the media, Minister Yolanda affirms the readiness of her ministry to working with the United Nations Population Fund to improve the health system. Esperance Fundira expresses her organization's readiness in training mid-level and advanced healthcare professionals.
UNFPA is doing 80% with the Ministry of Health, of their projects in the areas of nurses and midwife. The work that UNFPA is doing in the country is helping the health sector, like especially the Ministry of Health, reduce indicators in regard to infant maternal death. We are moving upwards, although very, very, very slow, because the need is so huge and the resources being put into it, and also like the human capital is also very limited. However, frontline training that UNFPA is doing with the Ministry of Health in the area of the mid-level to advanced level healthcare training is highly paramount.
We have a role in supporting that and in advocating for the Ministry of Health to have a bigger share of the budget. The work it does is absolutely fundamental to South Sudan progressing as a nation and developing. A healthy nation is a productive nation. We believe that we have a role to play in working to support the Ministry of Health in its budget share, but also with donors to say that the investments in this ministry go a long way to achieving the vision we all have for a healthy South Sudan.
The Minister of Gender, Child and Social Welfare, Aya Benjamin Warile, emphasizes on the importance of embracing equality. Minister Aya made the remarks during an advocacy engaging key stakeholders on anti-gender-based violence and other related legislations to strengthen advocacy for gender equality, mobilizing support for anti-GBV. The Executive Director of Christian Agency for Peace and Development, Peter Malir-Biar, affirms the significance of advocacy in fostering a meaningful dialogue among stakeholders to invest in gender and youth policy.
So I encourage all of us in this consultation, let's be objective, let's not blame, but let's find new ways. I like the way he said it. What is it that we can do differently as stakeholders to see that anti-GBV bill finds its way to the Council of Ministers and also to the Parliament so that it's passed to law.
The penal code and every single constitution line and article is implemented to guarantee the right and protection of our women and girls. With this, I want to say that this struggle has been there for almost a decade, but we're still here. And it is a challenge to me and to you. And I want to again say it has been a long time. And I want to say that we need to do something different.
Let's go for another short break and we will be right back. Stay with us.
Statement Engineering Group is a subsidiary of Statement Solution Limited, a South Sudanese-owned company registered under the South Sudan Company Act of 2012. We are committed to delivering excellence and exceptional services to meet our clients' needs. Our comprehensive offerings span consultancy, engineering services, building materials, general supply, interior design, and industrial equipment. Client satisfaction is our top priority. We strive to be responsive and proactive in meeting their needs. Our project managers collaborate with skilled local teams to ensure successful execution of the projects regardless of the space involved.
For inquiries, contact us on 0912 325562 or 0912 325254 or 0912 3252 25 or log on to our website www.statemangroup.com or www.statemanrealtor.com or Facebook page Stateman Engineering Group, or send us an email info@statemanengineering.com.
Welcome back from that short break. Moving forward, officials from Sun Frontiers, Germany, Suez and Canada briefed the Minister of Livestock and Fisheries, Onyoti Adigo-Nyikwach, on their respective activities in the country and the upcoming livestock projects. The Ministry's Director General for Special Projects, Dr. Alor Kwal, says the meeting reviewed projects being implemented by the three organizations. Ganiko spoke on behalf of the organizations.
This project is going to address such issues like climate change and natural resources which affected our livestock, our communities. And as we know, the flood is affecting like 7 states and is affecting mostly livestock. There is mortality, there is movement of livestock, there is a reduction of livestock products and productivities. And also is weakened the capacity to give more milk, more meat.
This year alone, I think we have managed to vaccinate over 60,000 livestock, especially mainly in northern Barkazal, Away East, I would say. And then we have managed to train 40 community animal health workers. So they deliver extension services like treatment and vaccination services to the communities. So apart from the animal health and veterinary services, we are also having a livelihood project that is related to livestock. For example, in Torit, in Eastern Equatorial State, we are distributing chicken and goats to vulnerable populations.
As the country eagerly anticipates the resumption of oil production in the coming days, stakeholders have committed to a thorough assessment of oil facilities in Paloj and Jebelen. This initiative aims to ensure the safety of oil field workers and verify the effectiveness of vital infrastructure, paving the way for renewed oil exports to the international market and providing a boost to regional economic growth. SSBC's Akuch Makir reports.
Pipeline and the related facilities are ready for resumption to take place. So in just a matter of a few days, we'll be able to realize resumption, and the people of the Republic of South Sudan and Republic of Sudan will be able to enjoy the dividends of this tremendous job that has been done by DPOC, BAPCO, Minister of Petroleum and Minister of Energy and Petroleum in Sudan.
Adding momentum to oil resumption efforts, oil production stakeholders have resolved embarked on an oil fields inspection visit across Paloj and Jebelen as a means to expedite the process of oil resumption. With oil facilities confirmed ready for operations following unified repairs to key oil infrastructure. This follows the conclusion of a 3-day oil exploration program, which brought together stakeholders from Bako Company, the Petroleum Ministry, the Sudan Ministry of Energy and Petroleum, and Dar Petroleum Operating Company to address challenges in the oil sector, with engineers and technical teams confirming the readiness of oil facilities. After pipeline degelling, oil exportation is imminent as Bako undertakes flushing activities to ensure the safety and integrity of the pipeline. A share agreement to facilitate an export rate of 90,000 barrels per day from Palm Station 1.
في بعض الترتيبات إن شاء الله مع الإخوة في شركة ديبوك، وبعد ذاك إن شاء الله بنبدأ immediately في إنه نفتح الخط، لكن الآن الخط يعني هو شغال running بالنسبة للناي في يعني بالموية، ونحن على استعداد يعني في أي لحظة إنه الخام وصل عندنا فنحن بنقوم إن شاء الله في بالواجب وحنضخه من محطة الجبلين Ssbc للمارين تيرمينال للصادر ميناء بشاير الصادر إن شاء الله.
والمشاكل اللوجستية اللي كانت يعني ممكن تأخر عمل إعادة الضخ، والحمد لله تم التوقيع الآن على رؤية مشتركة وخطة موحدة بين كل الأطراف لإعادة الضخ. ويمكن أنا أقول من اليوم يعني يبدأ العد التنازلي لبداية الضخ في خط الأنبوب الناقل لبترول الجنوب لشركة بابكو في شمال السودان. أنا أهني كل الإخوة في وزارة البترول.
The Undersecretary of the Ministry of Petroleum, Dr. Choldeng Thon, emphasized that stakeholders have agreed to prioritize and expedite the resumption of oil production and transportation through the pipeline.
The workshop discussed an integrated plan for the resumption to happen, and that was to align all the plans that all the stakeholders had. Workshop at the end was able to come up with agreements that were signed between all the parties and the stakeholders, and it discussed how best resumption could be prioritized and expedited, and also how to sustain production along the pipeline and the transportation of the crude from Republic of South Sudan to the international markets through the Republic of Sudan.
Dr. Choldeng stated that stakeholders recommended strengthening the oil resumption plan as oil production remains vital for the country's economic stability.
The workshop was also able to come up with the resolution that all the parties will go to the field right after this workshop. So they will begin with Paloj, after which they will go to Al Jabalain to check all the storage facilities, the central processing facility, and all the related infrastructure, oil infrastructure, to ensure that they are all ready. We have seen with the visit of the technical team when we went to Sudan that all the facilities are ready on the other side.
After the conclusion, the document was signed by the Director General of Petroleum Authority, Engineer Kon John, alongside Bako, Dar Petroleum Operation Company, and Sudan Ministry of Energy and Petroleum Representative. Akuch Maker, Ssbc, Juba.
In an inclusive interview with the chairperson of the National Elections Commission, Professor Abednego Akok-Kachwal reiterated the Commission's commitment to fulfill its task. Professor Akok says the Commission's budget is before the National Assembly for approval to complete the establishment of the Commission headquarters in the 10 states and 3 administrative areas. He pointed out that when the budget is at hand, voters' education, among other activities, would start appealing to South Sudan to prepare for the 2026 polls.
The budget is now before the National Assembly for approval, and we are waiting for it. I think there is time for us to prepare right now. Our immediate concern is to establish state headquarters, because the 10 states and the 3 administrative areas are the areas where election will be conducted. So we have finished formation of the state high election committees, and we are establishing offices in their respective areas. There are what they call stakeholders to the commission. They are the executive, the political parties, the media, and the civil society. These are the stakeholders of the commission. The message I will tell dear Southern Sudanese citizens is that we thank God very much the parties to the agreement. They are for election, and if they are for election, the public must be made aware that time has come for you to prepare for registration, which is the first step. And then from there, we practice and we go until.
The 24th East Africa Community Micro, Small and Medium Enterprises Trade Fair continues in Juba, with stakeholders discussing strategies to streamline the registration process and provide support mechanisms for entrepreneurs. Exhibitors and government officials from the East Africa Community member states explored opportunities under the Africa Continental Free Trade Area. The representative of the Regional Integration of the Democratic Republic of Congo, Nyoy Muselepi Karin, says trade fair plays a major role in creating job opportunities and as well as in poverty reduction. The executive director of the South Sudan National Bureau of Standards, Gloria Nyoka, urges the exhibitors to do networking to pave way for a brighter economic future in East Africa.
and the DRC is discovering the importance in terms of promoting not only the business opportunities, the entrepreneurship, but also its culture. This event, the EAC Trade Fair, has a very big impact on the economic sectors, which is contributing a great deal is solving the daunting issue of unemployment, poverty reduction in the region.
And I just encourage that we really need to bring all our heritage and also to bring all our products, because our product is hidden somewhere. We want to show the world and the region and all the Africa that East Africa has a lot of culture. South Sudan is with you. Ask your neighbors, and this is the chance for you to do networking. You will be having agencies in Kenya, Rwanda, Somalia, South Sudan. Please have a networking. You will be sending goods. Goods will be moving and flying all over.
SPLM Second Deputy Secretary General Mary Apai Aiga underscores the importance of initiating women empowerment programs. Apai was speaking in a function organized to honor and welcome the newly appointed chairperson of the SPLM Women League as she assumes office. SPLM Secretary for External Affairs, Bol Mokong, encouraged SPLM women leaders to train cadres. Members of the SPLM Political Bureau Ayan Mijok, calls for women capacity building to fully participate in decision-making process.
Women have to come up with their programs to implement the affirmative action. You have to create or initiate programs that implement the affirmative action. The SPLM said the women, the SPLM should create a league for the women of the SPLM. You cannot become a member of Women League when you are not a member of SPLM. You should be a member of the SPLM first, then you'll be a member of the SPLM Women League. Why is it important for us as women to participate and to be part either in the decision making or even in public life? Malu, Leo, and every day we are making noise, women outside there. I know it's things that we know, but it's good if you allow me, Comrade Senior, to just to make some points on it. Just to remind ourselves and to ensure that every day also we think and we work for our role. Why is it important for us to be part of the decision making? Access to education, because a population that are not raised by women in domestics, Comrade Bonmakweng just talk about the importance of us building our capacity, and he assigned this role also to Comrade Abu.
We want women to be 100% equal to us, not even 35, not 50. You get us right. Say that we compete on equal basis for any position. Any position, presidency, ministry, what in this country, you will have access to it. But you know the secret? You must learn, build knowledge. Learn, build knowledge. Knowledge is the hard currency of power. So, I need you, comrade, with your team to concentrate on training. Train your cadres so that they can equally.
Belated though, Central Equatorial State Government, in collaboration with Matasar International Organization UNICEF, commemorated the International Hand Washing Day at Gumbo Primary School. Stakeholders used the opportunity to explain the importance of the day to school children. Meriatong has more on the story.
Central Equatorial State Ministry of Housing, Land and Public Utilities, in collaboration with Maltesa International Action Community Health, the United Humanitarian Development Organization, commemorates Global Hand Washing Day at Gumbo Primary School in Rajapayam of Juba County. In his opening remarks of the program on Wednesday, the Commissioner of Juba County, Emmanuel Tete Isbon, explained transmission of common diseases through dirty hands. He stressed the importance of keeping the environment clean and washing hands frequently with soap and clean water to prevent the spread of diseases.
Anna kangal nas kedeka suliden maino taganna waskanin. Ala tu waskanin. Akena shantu tokun nudaf. Wetu tokunenda kumhimaya ووقاية من أمراض الصعب شديد. سبب نمرة واحد في أمراض البيجا وسديدة كان مسكن عليه أبدا كلويدا في كاسما. في كوليرا ما جا من بودا ما جا كان نقولودم لازول ما جا إلا من مسكن عليه بيدا تاكيته أبشر في كاسما. بيجا واسدوبا.
The director of the Department of Education in Juba City Council, Ahmed Omar Khalifa, explains the benefits of drinking clean water and maintaining clean hands to good health, especially among learners.
احنا عايزين ندي رسالة للمجتمع بتاعنا انه العيال بتاعنا في مدارس ده هم سفراء امباسادرز بتاعنا، يعني كل ما جينا كروه في بيت هو كده وري لأمته وري لأبوه قال كان ناس أكل إن بكاسو ليدين، كان ناس عملوا ده إن بكاسو ليدين، يعني ده رسالة مهم جدا. العيال بتاعنا هم كسفراء أو أمباسادرز بتاع البيوت.
Alice Emisa Bennett from Gudele West Primary School pledges to abide by the instructions.
Hand washing day is very important for us because we will not be affected by different diseases. And also, for us to wash our hands, there's a material that we can use to wash with our hands. We can wash our hands with soap. If there's no soap, we can use acid. That it will take germs out, and even we will be free from germs or from diseases, so that we will be healthy from different diseases. So
the day was graced with health guidance and games.
Maltesa International Organization was established in 2008 in order to promote hygiene worldwide. And it's now in partnership with the South Sudan government's initiative to preach hygiene and sanitation, cleanliness amongst students in school, homes, houses, and in your environment. However, their message: wash your hands with soap or hash after visiting toilets, wash vegetables before uses, and clean cooking area before and after in order to save your life and from diseases like cholera plus etc. Reporting for Ssbc News, I'm Mary Atong Mangwen Akech, Gumbo Primary School, Rajab East, Juba.
And that finally brings us to the end of our news hour. Thank you for tuning in. I'm Maud Polnang. Till next time.